Hello, I am Beth from Restoration Games, and we're here at Origins. And we are showing off Battle Monsters. So Battle Monsters is our restoration of Battle Masters, which was a fantasy-themed fighter game. It was so large that the board was a twister mat. You had to play on the floor. So ours uses the legendary Monsterverse characters. Still big and epic, but we at least put it on a table for you. So in this game, you are Titans, you're brawling it out, trying to take out your opponent. And the way that you do that is we're going to have an initiative deck that's going to run things for us. You flip over a card. It'll tell you if you're activating your troops or your Titans. And then you have 3 actions to spend. You can move around, you can attack, Titans can energize to prepare for stronger attacks later, troops can fortify and reinforce to get a little bit more health and get back on the board. Each Titan and each faction has unique abilities. So Godzilla can upgrade their abilities. King Ghidorah's flinging rocks all over the board. Each of the troops, each faction has 3 troop types, and those are able to do different things, and you have multiple units. So you can have one move and attack, you can have another one attack on the other side. The troops are able to do a little bit of area control on the board. They can take over an enemy's bunker, which will help a Titan evolve faster. They can gain resources. Those resources will let you do things like do a reroll on some attack dice, boost your attack, move a little bit more. You can have your Titans attack your troops instead, breaking a little rule there. Normally it's Titan v Titan. All of those will let you change the game a little bit. So when you attack, you're going to roll some attack dice. You'll take your highest number, that's your attack strength, and then your opponent can roll some defense dice, compare, subtract, knock down some health. The thing is, the dice don't have a 0, okay? They have these little slash marks. That's rage. Your Titan's going to get more and more enraged, and that's going to tick up on their board, and then they're going to get rage cards. This then gives you a hand to manage, which lets you then have some epic attacks later. You can stack those cards for some bonus stuff. Endgame is triggered by a Titan getting to 10 health or less. Once that happens, you check your round deck. If you still have cards left, then you have a chance to try and just get in there and pummel the other Titan. Can you be the last Titan standing? End of the round, either last Titan standing or Titan with the least health. The one left wins. So everything you see here on the table is what you get in a 2-character box set. This is King Ghidorah versus Godzilla. This is a prototype, but they are going to be about this scale. The Titans are quite large. They're not so miniatures. You'll have this box set. You'll also have Kong versus Mechagodzilla. The really cool thing about these, they're fully mix and matchable. So if you're familiar with Unmatched at all, we've kind of kept that going. This is almost like Unmatched on steroids a little bit. So you can mix and match your factions, your Titans from either box. You can have King Ghidorah's faction fight with Godzilla. That's totally fine. Have fun. You can have Kong fight with Godzilla's faction. Totally different gameplay then. The boards are also going to be double-sided, so if you get both sets, you're going to have a total of 4 different maps that you can play on. Those are also different. They have different challenges, different ways that the troops have to move around things. I think there's water on one that affects them. So we got all kinds of cool stuff with it. It is also a fully playable 1 to 4 player game with just a single 2-character box. So each faction has a little automa puzzle that you get to play against if you're solo. Yep, and then of course, you know, a lot of people are going to do the head-to-head 2-player battle, of course, but there's also 3 and 4 players. So if you're playing at 3 or 4 players, on one side you have 1 player control troops, 1 player control a Titan. And then if you wanted, you could even do a light co-op, have one of you control a Titan, one of you control a troop, and play against the automa. So lots of different ways to play, fully mix and match. It's got a lot to it, but it's also very approachable. It's like 60 to 90 minutes, you know, gives you kind of that war game experience without like the 6-hour war game deep evening. So.
And is this going to be coming to retail also?
It will. So we just finished our Kickstarter. Late pledges are open. They'll be open for a few months. That's your way to lock in the Kickstarter pricing, guarantee a copy. We also will have a Mothra. She's up there. You can kind of see her on top of the display case. So Mothra is going to be a single character box. She's part of our Kickstarter campaign and then will be available probably at shows and through the restoration site, but we're not planning on her being in distribution. But the two character boxes will be available through regular retail, probably Q3 next year. But right now, if you back late pledge, then that'll lock you in. Also, the box does fit in a calyx. So, Unmatched. The Unmatched system is a system of unlikely battles, and each box we kind of call a standalone expansion. You can get a box that plays totally on its own, but you can mix and match them. So you can take heroes from this set, heroes from another set, and battle it out. You want Little Red Riding Hood to fight against a T-Rex? Cool, make it happen. We can have that. So Battle of Legends Volume 3 is our newest release. It has some really interesting characters. So we have Pandora, we have Chupacabra, we have Blackbeard, and we have Loki. Each character in an Unmatched game, they come with a miniature, which is washed and has some good detail to it, and then they have their own character deck. This is not a deck builder, but it is a really interesting puzzle to master your deck. Each character is going to play a little different, but at its core, you're going to have 2 actions on your turn, so you can maneuver, you can scheme, and you can attack. And you're trying to knock out the other player. It is a fighter. Everybody has a health dial, and the way that you're going to do that is then with the cards that are in your deck. So Lightning Bolt is scheming. They're kind of tricky things. They let you do some different abilities. The shield is your defense, so when someone's battling against you, you'd be able to try and block their attacks with that. Purple lets you do defense or attack, and then red with the little punchy symbol is the attack. So your strength is up in the top corner, but a lot of cards will do tricky things with the text effects. So whenever you are adjacent or in the same zone, whether you are ranged or melee, then you'll be able to choose to attack. So you would put a card face down, they have the chance to put a card face down as their defense, and then you'll flip them and compare. You check the numbers, if there is an attack that hits, whatever the difference is, that's what you tick down in the health dial. But there are immediate effects, during combat effects, and after combat effects that happen. And so that can sometimes cancel card effects, do an extra hit, change your number. So you can be really strategic in the cards that you're playing and the way that you kind of manage your deck. So Pandora is interesting. She, of course, if you're familiar with mythology, Pandora's box, she cannot help but open it. So she kind of has a little bit of a push your luck gamble mechanism. She'll flip cards, they'll help her or hurt her, but the feathers, she doesn't want those are the miseries. As those start showing up, she's pushed her luck too far, opened the box too wide, bad stuff happens. But she can also get a lot of good things, and they can play into the cards in her deck. Chupacabra is all about that chomp, chomp, chomp. It's gonna come after you, gonna hit you hard, latch those teeth in. So Chupacabra is a character that gets to draw a card after each attack. Normally you only get to draw a card if you're doing a maneuver, but Chupacabra chomps on you, draws another card, chomps again. They're gonna come after you hard. Blackbeard is interesting. He has a chest of doubloons. This is something that is placed in front of your opponent, and Blackbeard is able to pay those doubloons to like get extra actions or do things, and then you kind of like a ransom can choose then if Blackbeard plays a card, you can pay the doubloons to cancel whatever they're trying to do on the card. But that puts it back to Blackbeard, and then Blackbeard can use that doubloon to do extra actions. So how much is that thing hurting you? Do you want to give them the opportunity to do more stuff? Is it worth it? It's an interesting decision space with the back and forth. Loki is very tricky, appropriate, he's a trickster. So Loki has cards. Let me see if I can pull one out. Yeah, so you'll see there's a Loki and a not Loki. Loki's gonna put cards in the opponent's hand. That's gonna muck up their hand. So then there are some cards that play into that, depending on how many tricks are in the opponent's hand. That'll change Loki's cards. But also that means that there's less that they can do with their cards because their hand is stuck with Loki's tricks. So they can play them, but some of them are not so good for them. So then they have to decide, is it worth it to play this to get it out of my hand so I can get my stuff back, or does this hurt too much? And the art is crazy. They did such a good job with everything. I love the Loki character.
We are on all of the Unmatched.
They do such a great job with the art. It's gorgeous. Card backs are crazy. Yeah, so this one is available. If you order through our website, there is a free Loki foil that you can get that'll just swap with the card in your deck.
If they're rain.
And this is, yeah, one of our public domain sets. And then The Witcher is one of our IP sets. So, you know, we do a mix of things. And even if you don't know the character, though, like the design team has done a great job that they're interesting to play, even if you're not that interested in the IP. And then everything is fully mix and matchable. So if you want Geralt to fight Loki, cool, have fun.